And if you were to listen to somebody who is trying to promote their business or their offer strictly with like business related content, they will tell you a very different story than what I would tell you about the current organic content um, uh, I don't know, field or whatever yeah, anyway. Yeah, because I actually, interestingly, on that post that you talked about the one where I said that the LinkedIn algorithm is better than ever. It's just different than 2025. Is one guy started talking about his numbers and he said that he gets like 60 impressions or something like this on his posts. Like people,
It's pretty.
just people talking about like, or maybe he said he gets like 60 impressions per hour or something like this,
Mm.
right? Um, which I guess could build, but like, yeah, that seems pretty bad. But I like without even looking at his content, I can almost guarantee what he's doing is that he's trying to just do the 2025 playbook when you literally just you could just talk about your business and your offer and all that and actually have it kind of pop off. And like that's
Yeah,
kind of what we did all of 2025, man. It's like
you're
carousel
made. By the way,
educational.
you made me laugh so hard when you had that post that was talking about like someone slid in my DMs and talked about how good looking I was in my beard or whatever. Because that was actually like a thing for like women to do, like about like I don't know, probably still a thing where like
It
girls would say
still
like, oh,
is.
like all these guys. This is not Tinder or whatever or
Yes.
Match. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like how you flipped it though, and you it's fucking hilarious.
See,
I was dying.
I knew exactly what I was doing with that post, and I knew that like it would get under people's like it would. I knew that I predicted some of the reactions I was getting. Interestingly, though, there was a
That was
bunch of
hilarious.
reactions that I also like didn't predict. Right, like there was a very large emphasis, like some people being like, "It's an AI bot, man. Like, be careful." Like trying to warn me or something. It's like,
Oh, really? Yeah, I was
dude, yeah.
always wondering that. Do people know it's satire, or do people like not get it? And like that's the thing is, I don't think some people are very literal. So like, there you go, like the bot thing. So like, I guess you'll never know like how it's interpreted, which I guess is kind of not really up to
Some
us.
some people on LinkedIn literally interpret everything. Well, they interpret everything literally. So
Interesting.
they literally interpret everything literally. But yeah, they do. Like yeah, like no, like there was a couple guys, interestingly enough, and I kind of knew that this would probably also get under the skin of some guys, right?
Interesting.
And
I wouldn't have thought that.
it did do that. What was that?
I said I wouldn't have guessed that. I wonder
No,
why.
no, no,
Well,
no,
yeah.
no, because guys, there's a certain type of guy, right? Usually very like insecure, uh, who doesn't like to see like other guys like winning or getting any like attention from like females or whatever, right?
Oh, I know.
So
I know these
so
types.
so this
I've worked
guy
with them.
like this one guy, I think he's from Morocco or something like this. He actually got so butthurt about it that instead of just be like, you know, I don't know, being playful or whatever, like he was actually like
Mad.
he tried to like attack me and say like you're
Not
not
good looking.
good looking. No woman would ever say that to you. Like it's like you are man,
You're lost a lot.
you are way too fucking invested in this. And actually my response to him was like, "Oh, I get messages like this all the time. You don't?" And then that just propelled him further. Then he wrote me a novel. He wrote me a fucking he wrote me multiple paragraphs, like a fucking 200 word essay, poorly written essay. And then my next response to him after his essay was, dude just had an emotional breakdown. So yeah, like I'm not the type to
That's fucking hilarious.
okay, yeah, okay. Anyway, Yeah, I'm actually at a public library here, but I'm in a private room, and I had a guy like just come up there to tell me that I'm being too loud, but it's like I'm in a private insulated room. It's like, and also like, dude, I don't have time to talk right now. Like that's kind of like anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. We'll try to get through it, but yeah, that you've been cracking me up though, man. I don't know if like you've been just looking at angles for like shit that's happening and then just fucking around or something. I could see like that one like how you reversed it. I thought that was pretty smart. But I like what you've been doing lately. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, that man, that one I knew that it was gonna pop off. Um I knew it was gonna pop off, and I waited on that one for a couple days to post that one. I'm like, this is yeah, this is gonna do some numbers. Um did I predict that it would actually be my highest performing post ever?
Oh, that
Um
was? I didn't know that. Shit.
yeah. It did, and like for LinkedIn, right? It ended up doing, I think, about it's probably sitting at about like 300,000 impressions right now.
Oh shit.
Um, 800 or 900 reactions, 600 to 700 comments.
Oh fuck.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Damn.
yeah. But I knew what I was doing. Is that there? I see that all the time from women on LinkedIn talking about all the guys that are hitting on them in the DMs and stuff, and how it's like unprofessional in this, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna flip the script on this, right? And I almost like I used their playbook. I used their playbook almost verbatim. Like, is this a profession? That last question, is this a professional platform or a dating site, right? And like the initial hook, this has to stop. Um,
I love that. That sounds so soft.
I've,
It's so funny.
I've received 12 messages like this one this week. Um,
By the way, when you're writing stuff like this, sometimes like when I'm writing stuff, I see it as humorous in my mind, but I know that like it's going to come across differently. So how do you? Is there a way like that you know that it's going to come across as humorous, or you just expect people to misinterpret it at that scale because it's so big? I guess because it went pretty much viral. So I guess you kind of would expect people to interpret it in different ways, I suppose.
yeah, I know that people will misinterpret it. I know that not everyone will find it funny. Um, yeah, yeah, that's just all par for the course sort of thing. Yeah, you have to know that there will be a mixed bag of reactions. Um, yeah, because basically this is kind of the territory of like rage bait. Thing about LinkedIn is that you don't even have to do much for it to be a rage bait post. Like,
What is a rage bait post? I mean, I don't really. Is that like more like when someone talks shit about politics potentially, or like it could be anything, just like any sort of like annoying, like there's
well, actually, technically, you did. You ended up doing a rage bait post, kind of,
the
maybe
end dash thing.
a bit of an idea of where you were going. No, but it was the one about the
Yours.
drinking wine on the mountain,
Yeah, yeah.
smoking a joint.
That pissed people off. For sure.
Yeah, like just basically like yours was kind of this basically saying that there are no real that everyone's pretending like they're not using AI, but the truth is, you know, the only people not using a little bit of AI or whatever are probably it's probably some like Tibetan monk or something like up in the mountains or something like this. That is kind of a form. That's kind of like a form of like that's kind of like LinkedIn rage bait. Like you don't have to go that far, you know.
Oh yeah,
Just to,
the guy came at me all fucking sideways and that like all like don't encourage like slop AI slop, and then I felt fucking weird for a minute. Like, am I like fucking part of this problem or what? You know what I mean? Like that whole thing. It felt odd in the moment, but I was just like, oh, this guy's just looking to fight with someone, and like I was fucking around.
yeah. Was he? Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, you will get people looking for fights. Um, Was he like the only negative comment or what?
He was pretty much the only. The other ones were actually really nice. They were actually people that I think that actually didn't use AI. They were like a photographer that I follow that I think is an actual artist, and he like literally is like, I don't use AI because I just take my photographs and like write these like long kind of things about like my photos or whatever. So I've actually had people that were like the people that actually probably don't like use AI as much, which is hilarious. Like, and that also felt fucking weird because it was like that wasn't what I was going for. I was going for like the other. It was just like a weird from being like the author standpoint. It felt weird because like I got like a guy like coming at me, and then the other people were like the camp that was like actually didn't use AI, like literally. Because there has to be a little bit of mix of everything, and I was like, but that's kind of what it felt like the audience was.
Did you respond to that guy, the negative one?
Yeah, I think I did. I think I just like kept it super. I didn't try to like bait him any further. I usually just like agree with people or whatever. Like, yeah, whatever. I don't really know what to do, and I think you're actually better at responding to some of these comments than I am because like I don't really like when I have someone come at me sideways. I just want them to go away. I don't really like want to engage with them further. But I don't know. I usually just engage with everyone, but I try to be cool with everyone, so I don't ever like try to like ruffle people's feathers unless they're
If
annoying.
somebody comes at me with a lot of attitude,
Yeah.
like a lot of really unwarranted attitude, my goal is to decimate them. Like, do it in a way that's also kind of like very, very not invested. So, for example, that guy like from Morocco, right? With
Right.
him, my response is I started with, oh, I get messages like this all the time. You don't, right? Pinning it back on him, like making it about him. So starting with
Right.
that, right? Not, never one key about haters and trolls in the comments is like if they try and like attack something like your looks, right, which is really common, right? Um, that's usually their go-to, right? Or something about you, right? That has nothing to do with the subject matter of the post. Never get into some debate of like, oh, what do you mean? I'm like super handsome or some shit like this, right? Never, never, never.
Yeah.
Instead,
You're gonna
what,
lose.
what I did,
You-
well, because it makes you look invested, right?
yeah.
That is an invested response. Instead, being like, oh, dude, I get messages like all like this all the time. You don't like which just further and like his
Pisses them
next
off.
response just shows that he got more angered by that response, which by the way, that means that it did its job. Like I get messages like all this all the time. What you don't? And then he writes me a novel. And then my next response, right? Interestingly, of just being like, dude just had an emotional breakdown is interesting because it's almost and I probably learned this from fiction writing, is that it's not even me responding to him, it's like me responding to the audience, which is really smart, I think. It's like
That
I'm
is
not even
interesting.
talking to you now. I'm going to actually just report as if
Observe.
I'm a journalist or a reporter reporting on your last comment. Wow, dude just had an emotional breakdown. Is this guy okay?
Did he keep on going after that, by the way, or
Like
did he like get even crazier?
it's not even about me anymore. It's about your emotional reaction, dude. And that's the thing too, is you have to realize that a lot of what they're doing is projecting, right? Why are you so angry about this? Right? Is it because you get no
Probably because
messages
he
from
got
women
no
ever?
play, and he's
Um,
mad because he took Andrew Tate's classes, and he's like, "Why the fuck am I not getting any fucking action?"
yeah, yeah. Andrew Tate's, yeah, red pilled women dating masterclass. Did he respond after that? Yes, he said, "At least I'm not delusional" or something, right? And
Oh
then
my god.
then I responded with the Patrick Bateman American Psycho gif. That's like, ooh, like a
He picked with the wrong fucking person to fuck with.
yeah. It was some interesting thing too. once you once a post really takes off, like it's almost like kind of too much, and you get sick of it. Because you asked me about this the other day, like you're like sometimes I feel like I need to step away from this post and come back to it when I'm more clear headed or something. Something you can do on LinkedIn, and I did this after about like 24 hours of this thing, because I can guarantee like there's probably somebody commenting on that post right now. That's how that's how kind of viral it went. It's still going now. I can guarantee it. It's probably gaining like it's probably still gaining like 1,000 impressions every 5 minutes or something like this. So what you can do on LinkedIn is you can turn off notifications on the post.
Oh,
So
okay. I didn't know that.
so now I have that post just kind of working in the back, but I'm not like looking at any of the comments and stuff like this. So I guarantee there's like people still like bickering back and forth in that comment section, boosting it out, but I don't have to pay any attention to it. So it's kind of like
I like that because
get
sometimes
the
it gets annoying.
get the ball rolling, and then just like if you're sick of just the stupid comments, the people not understanding it's satire, all that, it's kind of like, all right, the ball's already rolling, turn off notifications, boom, and we're out. Uh, and we just sail off into the sunset without looking back. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
got you into this satire thing? Because I actually think it's more fun if you could do it right and get the right like angles and the right things or whatever. But I think people picked up like on the M dash one because I see other people. I think that once things starts getting used or whatever, it starts getting used by like it just becomes like more of like a soundboard or whatever. But it seems like to get the original ideas, like you have to be pretty quick at like coming up with them. I feel like there's a lot of them, but like there's I don't know, like how are you? What made you want to do satire? Was it just like fucking try new things or whatever because the old shit wasn't working?
So yeah. So like first of all, I think that there's certain things that aren't like they're not really trends. They're almost kind of like
Timeless.
they're more kind of like evergreen than that. Like my idea of like the screenshot of like some woman like hitting on me or something in the DMs and then like using the playbook that chicks use on LinkedIn of like, oh my God, I'm getting hit on by so many guys. They're all creeps. Da, 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 whatever. Is this a professional platform or a dating site? That whole thing, uh, like that's pretty evergreen. I don't think that's like some like trend. However, I'll bet you somebody out there, maybe it's a risky, it's a ballsy move, but somebody out there probably will think to themselves, maybe I'll copy Mike's post. So
I could see that.
I don't look
Yeah.
at it like hopping on a trend. I look at it like finding unique ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they would. You started the trend maybe though, and then someone could theoretically like go hop on, and it could be a thing.
Well, when I did the Elon Musk one, the one about
Yeah,
Elon Musk DMing me about LinkedIn ghostwriting,
that one was
like
funny too.
three girls went and like copied that immediately after, and they like tagged me for credit or whatever, like they gave credit for it. But I mean, they were like on it immediately. It was like they spotted that like, oh, this is something that's going viral. And interestingly though, like I think for them just hopping on the trend, personally, I also think they didn't do it as well. That's another thing too, is that a lot of the time people will not do the thing the post as well as you. Like they'll attempt it, but they'll be missing the key thing that actually made it work, like
Yeah,
structurally. It's almost like they would have to almost copy you verbatim, like almost have to copy you verbatim, because what they're missing is the actual framework behind the words sometimes. Um, like it's a bit of a skill to be able to look at a post and see beyond the words to understand the psychology of what's going on. And if you can see that, you never have to copy any, by the way, you should never copy anyone's post to begin with. But if you have this skill of seeing the psychology behind the words and what each line is doing, then you absolutely never need to copy anyone's post. You just understand the framework, right?
I really like that one too, because I actually saw some screenshots of Elon talking about LinkedIn and saying how cringe it was, and if he met anyone on LinkedIn that was posting, he'd lose respect for them or whatever. And I was just like, dude, that's a really dickish thing to say for someone at like his level or whatever, because like a lot of people like don't like at that level when you're already famous, like, and you're already so successful, your reputation, you don't need to like go on LinkedIn to like go get business or whatever. So I just feel like he's kind of like dicking out like on a lot of people. So I thought that was smart that you use that, because like we're like, all right, I know like Elon fucking hates LinkedIn, so that friction like made it kind of smart, I feel like, and
Yeah.
that's what kind of like made it like pop in my eyes. But like I
Yeah.
just feel like he's kind of an arrogant. Like I think he's obviously a genius and like an amazing product person and whatnot, but like he's kind of an asshole when it comes to like just like everyday people. He also like trolls people, like tells people to invest in shit that they shouldn't, and like he's kind of a dick. Like when it really boils down to it, but I like him as like an inventor. But I mean, I think that he's just kind of crazy.
Is he an actual inventor?
I mean, he has the money to like do things like SpaceX, for example. They fly like a Falcon rocket into space, and then they have Starlink, which is like you can get like internet anywhere. So that didn't exist before his company. And then Tesla makes the humanoid robot, and they also make Tesla. And I mean, obviously, some of these ideas existed before, but I think that when you have like the money and like the tech and all that stuff to go out and like build the teams to actually do some of this stuff, um, you could
I think
could
that's
do
what I
different.
mean.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, is it actually him inventing the thing? I think he's an innovator.
yeah, I don't
Right?
know if he's in a yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good question. There might be a little distinction there, but he's definitely like you know a visionary at least. Yeah,
Yeah. I also think that Elon Musk is kind of playing a character, like kind of like the way that like I also feel that like Donald Trump, for example, is also kind of playing a character, right?
sure,
Um,
I could see
yeah,
that.
I think that they're kind of like talking heads, um, and they say certain things to appeal to certain crowds and to get under certain people's skin in a way. I feel like they're almost being pushed in certain directions, maybe by people even above them, if that makes any sense. Um,
I think
yeah,
Elon's a little for how much money he has. Like first, like how however whatever they were saying, like the first trillionaire or whatever. I know he
mhm.
lost it when SpaceX, because they IPO'd and then they tanked or whatever, because their stock was going for over $200 and now it's like at 124 or something like that. So a lot of his like net worth, like when that stock like went out the window or whatever. But he was actually arguing with like he called Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. Like he said, pretty much told him like fuck off or whatever. And then another one, he Sam Altman, the guy of OpenAI, and he was like tweeting, like rage baiting him, saying scam Altman, and like saying something about like, oh, like does your what did he say to him? He's like, do you have like your restraining order? I guess he has. I haven't looked into it, but Elon was claiming that he had some sort of like restraining order or some sort of like a not restraining order, but like parole officer. He said like so he was just like going at him. It was weird to like see like the I know that Elon was a part of OpenAI, I think at the beginning, and then like I think I don't know, but it was just weird to me that like at that level, just the amount of like you'd expect it from some people like us or whatever, but to like be running like companies that are like on like the stock market, they're billions of dollars each company, SpaceX, Tesla, all these different things. Like he doesn't give a shit. Like I think that that's kind of interesting. I guess probably because he has so much money.
I think it's proof that like we live in a very strange world today, and I think it's also proof that the world, to some degree, that phrase. It's like or no, that quote from like Shakespeare, where it's like all the world is a stage.
Oh, it's interesting. I haven't heard that.
Oh, you haven't heard that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like all the world is a stage, right? So I think becomes very true when you see the behavior of some of these like world leaders. You know, and I think that they play certain characters because, for example, you don't really see like Jeff Bezos um, tweeting crazy shit, right? But Elon, yes. Donald Trump, yes. Who else? Who else says crazy shit? Theo Vaughn, I mean, he's a comedian. There's a lot of comedians who say crazy shit. Andrew Schultz, uh, Shane Gillis, but they're comedians, right? So, but yeah, some of these leaders are all over the place.
Someone's asking us what the topic is for today. We were kind of just talking about, I guess, some of Mike's posts that have been popping off lately, what's working on the LinkedIn algorithm. And at the moment, we're kind of talking about world leaders like Elon Musk and some of the things they kind of get away with in context of rage bait.
I think our lives are usually a just a flowing topic from one thing to another.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
that
how are things going with you and like the whole video business and such?
It's good, man. I've been kind of slowing down on the cold calling, or not the cold DMing lately, because I've been working on an Airbnb site. I launched another one called surfsoundsloudly.com. So I was looking for other Airbnbs to manage as well, because I'm making about like $1,500 a month right now from like one, and I want to get some other ones just because it's kind of like a similar business model where you go out and like you kind of do the listing for the place, and then you set up some like dynamic pricing, so it's like hotel pricing or whatever, where it kind of gets like the latest rates or whatever, so it's like an algorithm, and then you kind of just handle like the guest. You kind of set up some flows so that it checks them in, checks them out, and then if they have any questions during the thing or whatever. So I've been kind of working on that, and I launched that site because I want to get like another one. The thing I like about that business is that like you don't have, once you get it set up, you don't have to deal with like whether or not someone likes the product. It's like, all right, they checked in, the place is clean, it's got good reviews or whatever, just as long as, so I was looking at trying to get some more of those going. So I've been kind of focused a little bit on that lately, and instead of taking away that thing, because I could see that
Yeah.
if you had like, say like 5 properties that you're managing, you could easily make like over probably 100 grand, and then like have it like almost be easier. So like that's why I've been kind of like doing a little bit of hedging there, and I've been doing a lot of investing lately too. So like I've been investing a lot into like the markets, and my whole goal is like, I realized that like the fastest way I feel like to like get ahead is to like make my money like compound as quickly as possible. So like I've been heavily investing into like Bitcoin, Solana,
Everything is
some
down right now. I've heard.
everything is fucking tanking.
So
Yeah.
if you have, they always say buy when there's blood in the streets, right? So,
Yeah.
well, I think that was like either
Warren Buffett.
Rockefeller, or Rothschild said, I think it was Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, buy when there's blood in the streets. So yeah, like now would actually be a good time to buy, despite
Yeah.
everyone panicking in the market.
Yeah.
Because the next thing that happens is the market usually turns around,
Yeah.
unless it's something a lot bigger than that, like Great
Someone said,
Depression level.
oh yeah, someone said watch IBM. Yeah, you can see like I studied some before investing. I studied like just the stock market crash in the early late 20s, and then like 2008 financial crash. 2022 had a bit of a, you had the dot-com bubble, and then you had 2022, which like interest rates rose. So like and that caught, what happens is when the interest rates rise, it takes the cheap money out of the market, and all these startups and all of the housing and everything, all the growth stocks kind of all get fucked. But I ended up investing like $7,500 into like Google like just a month ago, and it's already gone up like $550. And I invested it into like a Roth IRA. So what that does is you could invest. Well, I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the US, you could invest up to $7,500 a year into a Roth IRA and, until you turn like 50, and then you could do another 1,000, so like 8,500. But that 7,500 that became a little over $8,000 from Google in like less than a month. Imagine if you invested $10,000 into Google 10 years ago, it'd be worth about like $90,000 today. So all that money that sat there would be tax free when you exit at 59 and a half. So like the idea is that you put enough money into like a Roth or whatever that by the time like you're ready to like have a shitload of money, it's all tax free sitting there gaining. But like I realized that like the way people get like financially secure and wealthy is basically either by investing in real estate or a combination of real estate and stock and like crypto. Maybe crypto is not for everyone, but I started investing in Bitcoin at like 30K and then wrote it up to like 120K. Started investing in Solana at $30 and then I wrote it to like a couple $100. So I kind of know those markets well enough now where I'm like not scared of them, whereas a lot of people are, for good reason, like scared of like Bitcoin and Solana and they say that Solana could go up to like $1,000. So my goal is to get like 150 Solana, and then if it goes to 1,000 at some point, have like $150,000 sitting there in Solana. And the crazy thing is you actually get like 5% interest on top of that. So as I'm sitting there staking, they call it staking the Solana.
Yep.
Basically, I'm earning like Solana back so that will eventually become a bigger nut. But the idea is obviously like putting as much money into the market as you can, because that way it's like eventually it'll grow to some crazy number. Even like indexes are smart to do. Like, so I've been kind of focused more on different. I'm going to start getting back into a little bit of that too, but like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like my ultimate goal is to not work and to like have like solve money as a problem. And I don't necessarily love like having to like jump through hoops to do things. So like my goal is to like solve that somehow as quickly as possible. But I don't know, like obviously the more money you have coming in quicker, the easier it would be.
Yeah, I like that what that you said about solving like money as a problem. Because interestingly, like I kind of think of it that way too. Like it is like a problem, you know.
Right.
You have a set of expenses every single month, and it's just yeah. Like the truth is, if you solved that problem, you'd still work at things, but it would just be things that you're
Enjoy
only
more.
things that you're passionate about, right? Which is
Yeah.
awesome, right? So of course, yeah, you want to get to that place. But man, if you're making 1,500 on a single Airbnb, is that pretty?
Yeah.
Is it on Airbnb?
Yeah. It's on Airbnb. Yeah. So you're basically like a middleman, like a
I'd
property
say,
manager.
man.
Yeah.
And do you end up doing the property management, or are you hiring people for that?
No, it's just me. I mean, like I have to help out sometimes, like when there's like I don't know, like if they have like a problem or whatever. It doesn't happen often, but like, yeah, it took me like probably about a week to design that website that I made because I had to like, it's not done yet. I built it in like Squarespace. And I was thinking about doing some like testing some mailers, like $1,000 and testing some mailers around an area that I want to get more of them. And I want to go into like, you kind of have to like go into a market that allows, they call it short-term rentals, STR. And you want to be like in an area that like that allows it and that is like high price so that like I don't know if the thing rents for like $200,000 a year and you make a 20% commission, you just made what is it, 40 grand off that thing. So like that's kind of the idea. Finding it, and it's actually a pretty well known thing. Like I knew a lady that was managing 45 properties. I think she was making like over like $500,000 a year. So it's like a legit like business. They call it co-hosting. And I like it because like as someone said in the comments, other people's money, you're using other people's assets and essentially like taking over like the hospitality part of it, which is like sales, marketing, because the thing still needs good copy, it still needs good pictures, still needs like a headline. So all that marketing stuff is transferable. Then it just becomes like, all right, like you set up flows to like make sure that the guest has instructions to check in, that they have the Wi-Fi password, that there's instructions to check out. So it's all automated there. And then it just becomes like if the property is maintained properly, then it's just you like kind of like really just collecting money. Like it's like, you know, I think that I got like a $200 commission this week for someone, and I think I talked to them once. They had like one question or whatever. So like it's pretty like straightforward after it gets going or whatever. But I don't know. I actually think that that business is really cool. The thing I really like about it
Mhm.
is because with the creator business, I don't like the fact that people, not to say that I don't like love the creator business, I do, but the things I didn't like about it is that like not everyone believes in like um what is it? They always want like an ROI and they always compare it to performance marketing when it's not. Like, you know, they always compare it to like Google ads or like some sort of ads. And then a lot of people are just very demanding. And I don't know. I like the fact that that business is more like a, like you check in, I get paid like the next day and then it's done. You know, like that's, there's no
Yeah.
like rewrite this or re-edit this or recaption this or whatever it might be. So I think, but there's a trade-off though, because like you're kind of like, I don't know, like expected to, you know, answer the guests if they message you at like 9 o'clock at night or something like that. So like that kind of sucks because it's like, all right, like you
Yeah.
kind of lose your like sense of like freedom, I guess, because I don't know, in my 20s, I traveled around kind of like you for like 8 months around the world and I had like no time clock, I had no job. So I literally had like this like sense of like I could do whatever I wanted. Whereas this kind of feels like there's like a mild like drain on you because you're kind of like I just have like notifications on or whatever in case something happens. But so that's another bet though that I'm doing. Like I was considering making like a postcard and sending it out in the mail to like some areas to see if that, you know, spend like $1,000, see if I can get some more business there. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think you would kill it in that. You should definitely consider looking into that. They call it co-hosting, Airbnb co-hosting. And basically what the person does is they like set you up as a commission and the person that owns the property and the standard commission's 20%. Like 15% would be like low. And then some people that are like super cheap might do it for like 10, but like the standard is like 20. And some companies actually
So
charge more.
yeah, a couple things about it. So now I see why you're calling it co-hosting. So are you telling me that you're actually just splitting with an actual Airbnb host and helping them with the marketing and the whole pro,
Yeah. Oh,
process in this, and you're the one answering the messages and helping them manage it and
yeah.
stuff?
Yeah. So they added me to their
Okay.
Airbnb. I rewrote their copy. I cleaned up their pictures. Um, I set up these workflows essentially as like for like here's the directions, here's the check-in instructions that fire automatically. Like the day before, it'll send off like instructions to drive. The day of, here's your check-in instructions. The day that they leave, here's the checkout, or the day before they leave, here's the checkout time. The day after, could you write us a review? And you kind of test it to see if there's anything missing, if any other questions got asked, and then from there, you just get a straight cut, whatever you like. For me, like moving forward on my side, I put it at 17%, even though the standard's 20%. So I'm making it slightly lower to make it more because I don't have as many like um, properties under my belt. But the idea is that like you take that and then essentially once the person adds you to it, let's say you get like a booking next week for like 3 grand or something like that, you would get $600 commission because it would be 10% of 3 grand is 300, double that, $600. So then that would be your commission. And then you kind of like, yeah, that's it. It's kind of like rinse and repeat. And there's some other
Hmm.
tools out there too, where like there's a tool called Price Labs that I started implementing. It's like $20 a month. And the people that started it, they created, so Airbnb doesn't like, they don't really care about how much money the property makes. They care about more about like getting cheap housing for their, I guess, for their clients, like people that are, you know, using Airbnb. I use them all the time or whatever. But the idea is that you want to um, the price labs thing. What that allows is it's like more like a dynamic pricing engine. It's using like kind of like an AI to go out there and look at like market demand for a certain area. Like, is there like a FIFA event coming into LA? Is Coachella coming to like Palm Springs or whatever? And it understands, it looks at all the other hotels, looks at all those different rates. So this tool basically is like Airbnb didn't optimize for like I guess profit. So this tool does, and it's like $20. So you go in there and like you're a hero because you add that that tool onto some guy that or gal that doesn't know anything about like dynamic pricing. You add this in there. Like for example, like there was one night where the Airbnb I run it was like renting for like $770 a night for like 2 nights. So it was like $1,400, and I think below before they were using like this price lapse thing, it was maybe like the highest was like 500. So it was able to capture more upside, and then it has like an algorithm too where it gets closer to the date, it starts discounting it, like where it's like, all right, this thing's not rented out next week, it's gonna like discount it to get more interest into the thing or whatever. So you're kind of like tweaking with
Dude,
like an
when did
occupancy rate.
you when did you get into all this? Like, this is
I've been doing
very
it probably
interesting.
for like 5 months now. Yeah, and it's
And
been
did
like
you have
nice
to
because
like buy in at all? Like, did you buy
no,
in at all, or
no
you're just
cash at
literally
all.
helping
I'm just like a
this
middleman.
person and collecting commission? Wow.
Yeah, just like a middleman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
And did you
I think
say
that
that you know somebody who's making $500,000 doing this, like helping 40 different
oh yeah,
hosts? Is
I
that what you
don't know
said?
her personally. I don't know her personally, but yeah, she's probably making at least like a half million. She's got like 3 or 4 employees though, and like she's got like 45 of these things going. There's a bit of a arbitrage opportunity right now too, because like the property I'm managing now, so they have something called like a property management system, a PMS. And what that is it's like if you're managing 45 properties using the Airbnb app, it's not going to really work because you're like it's too hard to you need something to centralize all this stuff, like who's checking in now, where's all my messages, like you would need some sort of like software to centralize that. But Airbnb put something on where like they're like if anyone's using connecting through API to this property management software, we're going to charge the people 15.5% on top of that as a fee. So like if you're paying your property manager 20% with an additional 15% fee, they're paying 35 cents to the dollar in fees essentially. So like if you go in there and say I don't use the system and you only manage like say 4 or 5 of these things because you're just doing it, or you create your own system like a HOD might do or something, you go in there and you create a different system where you're not using that. So you could save. That was part of my thing too. It's like I'm like, all right, if there's someone around that's paying that extra 15% to use a property management software, I could say you don't need that with me because I don't need to use that because I only have like 4 or 5 properties to manage, and then I could do other things. So like that's kind of like the idea there. So it's kind of like it's an interesting thing. It's like I always knew that real estate was like cool, and I see a lot of people making money in real estate, including my parents. Like I've seen them like make quite a bit of money on different real estate deals. So like it's kind of fun to. I never wanted to be like a real estate agent, but I was like, this is kind of cool because it's marrying like almost feels like you're running like a boutique hotel, but then like making money off the property essentially.
I like that it's not even your property. And from what I gather, like, okay, do you ever show up to that specific location to like you have to fix some problems sort of thing, or is it all just done by messaging and then like you're hiring or you're then coordinating with like um a cleaning lady or a technician or something like this to go in and fix something?
Yeah, I mean, I have to every time the thing turns over, like when we have a new guest, like I have to communicate with the cleaning people. And depending on where the place is, like there could be a lot of them, there could be a little, but there's things that need to be restocked, like shampoo, soap, toilet paper, paper towels, that kind of stuff. And then there's some people that don't do it, um, that could do it remote, and there's people, their businesses that do it remote and things of that nature. But my strategy is to say that I'm local to this specific area, like a coastal area that's high end, so that like I can go there and be at their property within 20 minutes. That's what I'm doing now, at least. But I don't know. I might change that if it doesn't. If I don't know. I don't want to be married to it, but the idea is to be local so that like that's part of the thing where I could be like, hey, I can go check out your property before it turns over, so that I know that like you could rely on the cleaners to um, I guess to make sure that it's done properly, but you don't know if they're going to do it correctly, and to have like one final like walkthrough of the place is kind of like just like insurance, I suppose. But you could do either one. I think it kind of just depends on your strategy. There's people that are managing these things from all over the US that are nowhere near the properties.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I mean that in itself, being the guy who does go in, I feel like that should also
Oh, there you
get
go.
you an increase in percentage, right? Versus if you're doing it completely remotely, right? That's a very different thing. Actually being on call to some degree, like not to come in for everything, but for things that are actually important, then that should come with an increase in percentage, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Yeah,
Yeah. You kind of have to
man,
know like
just honestly
the
go get 10 of those. Just get 10 of those that are paying you $1,500 a month, man, and you're pretty golden.
Oh yeah, if you did that and just invested into the market, like you'd probably be like 5, 10 years, so you probably wouldn't
Yeah.
have to work anymore if you invested it at all. I think like keeping bills cheap and then investing, like I think that's like there's actually I don't know if you saw this, but there was the CEO or the CFO of Costco is saying that there's in regular hourly employees that have over 7 figures in their 401ks just from working at Costco. So that's kind of just crazy to think about, right? Like they're not
Mm.
making that much money. They're making maybe like 30, $40, $20 to $40 an hour, say, and they're already like millionaires just from putting it into the market. So like crazy to like look at. I actually had a 401k for my last job that was like 13,000 maybe like 3 years ago, and it jumped up to like 18 from like that whole AI like crazy boom. Like it was just in the market. It was like in an index. I didn't touch it, and just I looked at it the other day and it was like 18 grand. I was like, what the fuck? Like that's why I'm just like so. I wish I would have started investing earlier because I realized that that's like the key to not have to work. Because I have a friend that's retired now at like 45, and he's like literally in Europe with his girlfriend or his wife, and he literally doesn't have to work anymore because he's been investing for that long, like $1,000 into the market for 20 years since he was in his 20s. So like now he's like pretty much retired. He
Stocks
doesn't have to work.
or
Yeah, like
something else like crypto.
he's in, he's invested in Bitcoin. He's invested in Apple, Spotify, Disney. Nothing like crazy, like nothing that you would actually think that like if you look at Warren Buffett, his main position was Coca-Cola. And then the other position that he got was Apple. And that wasn't until like 2011, which to me is crazy because like that was late in my opinion. Like you should, like an investor, you should have known about Apple with his skill level like a long time ago. But I think that Steve Jobs probably convinced him of something. But like, yeah, Coca-Cola was like one of his main positions because he just realized that like people are going to continue drinking Coke. It's going to go into foreign markets. I don't think they owed the bottling. They just sold the syrup like as a licensing agreement. So like he really liked Coke. He looks for things that have like a moat. Meta's one that I invested in, and that actually went up from like I bought it at like 630, and then it tanked to like 550. So if you get it under 500, it's like probably good. And then it went up to like 680. So I was up like a couple, I don't know, $150 or something like that because I don't have that many shares. And then like I think the high it's even like in the 700. So you kind of have to like learn how to like pattern recognition, like the cost. So for example, like Bitcoin, if it's trading at like 63,000, which it is today, and you knew that it went to 120 and it could go to a million at some point in the future, like 10 years from now, Bitcoin's all like done like on like halving cycles. So like it has like a 4-year predictable market. So the next halving event slash bull run should be like at the end of 2029 summer, say. And that's when I plan on like getting into as much of a position I can and then exiting that position and then investing into real estate is probably my goal.
I saw something on Instagram. I can probably send you the video actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Send it to me.
But apparently Bitcoin is, yeah, it's not even just, I know about the whole halving thing. I actually know like quite a bit about crypto. I got very into it as well at one point.
Oh, you did?
I almost walked away with a pretty nice amount off of like a 10 or 15K investment. I almost walked away with about 100, might have actually been over 100 grand.
Damn.
Might have been like 112. I can't remember exactly, but it
Holy
was about
shit.
100 grand off of a 10 or 15K investment. I had about
Fuck.
a 6 or 7x growth off of this, in particular, this one altcoin called Digibyte that I was
Oh
in at the
wow.
time. Have you heard about that one?
I haven't. That's interesting though.
Have you heard about Digibyte?
I haven't heard of Digibyte
No?
now.
Okay. Yeah, it's a slightly older one. Yeah. But this was like, I'm trying to think. This was probably like 2021. Yeah, 2021. Man. And the only thing I didn't do, because I could have done it, and I even said to a friend, my buddy Marcello, I was like, honestly, dude, I'm thinking about selling. And I should have just sold. And I think I said, like, I'm thinking about selling. And then I said, maybe I'll at least sell like 50% or something like this, which, by the way, I think is an excellent strategy. Is like, when you're up like that much, a 6 or 7x return or whatever, just at least sell like
Take some off the top.
50% or something, like, so that
Yeah.
no matter what happens, you've at least solidified your like some of your profits, right? Because the whole
Yeah.
thing can crash, right? And what happened is I was up by 60 or 70% on the or no, a 6 or 7x on my initial investment, and about 24 to 48 hours later, 30% crash.
Ooh.
The entire portfolio down 30%. And when it's down like 30% like that, but meanwhile you're hearing a lot of like gurus or crypto experts who sometimes portray as if they know where it's going and stuff like this. It's like, guys are saying like, nah, this is a multi-year bull run, just like, I'm in it for the long haul and stuff. You hear stuff like that when you're kind of thinking, I don't know, man, I don't know if I can get much better than this, right? And yeah, unfortunately, like some guys, they might be, but of course they're thinking from their own perspective, and they're thinking, I'm in this for the next 10 years or whatever, right? And that might be their mentality or approach. But if you're up 6 or 7x, just
Oh yeah.
honestly, do yourself a
Get
favor,
get rid of
sell
it.
50% or whatever,
Yeah.
get your bag, and sell an amount where no matter what happens, you're good, right? Because, man, if I had done that, like, that actually could have set me up pretty nice. Because, like, let's say that you do have like 100K or something like this. Well, then when it goes into the bear market, the beautiful thing is now you've got money to buy when things are just brutal, when there's blood in the streets. And then that, I think, is where guys really make money, is when they've got that money to invest and you're in a bear market. Because then on that next run, you probably end up getting like a 10x or something like this. And then there you go. Now you got a million liquid, right?
Yeah.
So I really could have set myself up if I just sold.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something that I've read too
But
that like you can look at it like a ladder, right? Like you might say like when Bitcoin hits like say 100,000, I'm going to sell 20%, and then when it hits 120, I'm going to sell 20%, and when it hits 150, 20%, and then whatever. Like you, so it's kind of like you already planned it out ahead of time, so that you just offload at different like markers. Would be one way to, I guess,
yeah,
kind of think about it. But it's interesting too because I was looking at like Austin, Texas real estate, and some of these condos you could buy there now for like three, or even townhomes for like 320 or like 550 like 4 years ago. So like they fucking tanked. Like their market like peaked like three, I don't know, 2, 3 years ago or something like that, and it's just been like downhill since. So I mean, if you had like it, like to me, I think that that's interesting. If you can make enough money where you could just like buy something outright cash or close enough cash where you only have like your property tax and HOA, and or depending if it's not a condo, it's a house, you won't have an HOA. But like just imagine like you own the place and all you had was utilities and property tax or something like that. Like so your bill was like, pretty less than $1,000 a month, maybe like $500 or something like this, depending on like what the situation was. But like to me, I look at that like that would be my ultimate goal, is to basically get to a point where I could just own the property outright and maybe rent a room to someone for like $1,000 a month so that you're kind of cash flowing a little bit. Or a lot of people too, like will get like a duplex and like live in one and like rent out the other so that their mortgage is like pretty much paid off and then the property is appreciating. And then imagine that, like it appreciates, either you keep it forever or like you sell it on the next like peak and kind of do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think yeah, people who own enough assets, although I think a lot, yeah, like a lot of people are feeling the financial squeeze, financial pressure these days, but people who own a lot of assets, a lot of like cash flowing assets, and real estate is probably one of the best examples of a cash flowing asset. Like another one is actually a business, right? But real estate cash flowing asset like that, like these people are not, at least right now, feeling the squeeze that some people would be in the overall market and economy and all that. Like they're probably doing pretty well, aside from the fact that we just had a crash in the market a couple days back or whatever.
Yeah.
my
I guess,
buddy, my buddy Gage was talking about that crash in the market.
oh yeah.
Yeah, he's not too happy
I,
about it.
I'm fucking down hard and like my, at the AI stocks, I have some NVIDIA, Marvel, Taiwan Semiconductor, and all of them are just fucking hammered right now. It's like one of those things where you kind of know you're getting into something like high risk because it's like it's already overhyped. A lot of people are saying it might be like a bubble, and like it really kind of depends on like how much money Meta, they call them hyperscalers, so like Meta, Microsoft, Google, they're spending a lot of money building out these data centers for compute for AI. But if they stop spending as much
Mm.
money like in future quarters, it really fucks with these stocks or whatever. So like I don't know, like I guess it's all about positioning size. Like I like the high risk stuff because high risk, high reward, but at the same time it is shitty when you see like your portfolio and it's all red. But yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
timing too.
that's what separates the men from the boys, or that's really no, that's what separates the people who are able to walk away with a bag versus those who are not. Because the absolute worst thing you can do,
So
and sadly, this is kind of what I ended up doing with the crypto, is selling at a low. Like I did definitely did not lose money, but and I wouldn't say I broke even. I still walked away with profit and stuff. But if I had just held, even though I didn't, get that 6 or 7x return, if and there was that 30% crash and then it continued down. If I had just held to where crypto ended up in, like, I don't know when the exact cycle was, whether it was 2024 or 2025 when it was back up again, I bet you I could have made, like, a lot of those crypto coins probably corrected, right? So I probably would have been doing pretty good there. Yeah. So
yeah,
being able to go through the red.
Mike, you there? Mike, I think I lost Mike, so I guess it'd be a good time to end it this week. We'll catch everyone next week.